Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
I'm your host, Dominic.
This is our 44th episode, and we have a lot to cover, including our golf trip, the 150th Open Championship, Bridgestone ends Bryson DeChambeau sponsorship. Dom, we are in episode 44. It literally feels like I've been gone for like 2 months.
I did 43 alone, so you were alone.
You rocked it out solo. You did a great job. That was with the Pinehurst 6 fellas.
Shout out to them for making it a little bit easier on me. I was super nervous just because I've never done one alone. Like, I knew with them it'd be pretty seamless because we get along really well. As long as I don't talk about Ohio in the wrong way.
Yeah, don't be making fun of Ohio. They don't like that.
Well, I mean, they also put chili on spaghetti. That's all I'm going to talk about. That's all you're talking
about. A good bunch of good dudes. Wow, see, look at this. I've been gone for so long, I can't even talk. But they are actually playing their Pinehurst 6 tournament right now, correct?
Yeah, I don't remember what course they're at, but that started today.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, this one will obviously come out later, but I want Greg to win. I told him, I messaged him. I was like, hit him straight, shock the world, rooting for you.
There we go. Awesome. The Open, 150th Open at probably the most prestigious golf course, the oldest golf course in the world, and that is St. Andrews.
Is it really the oldest? Like, is that like a proven fact?
It's known to be the oldest. Yeah, it was started opened in the 15th century. That's when it was created. And now they have the new course, which was, I believe, built in 1895, which is kind of wild to say it's the new course when it's still 1895.
Old as dirt, yeah.
Completely old. Probably my favorite course, and this is one of the reasons why Tiger kind of skipped out on a lot of tournaments leading up to this, was to prepare for this, because like it's his favorite course and probably his last. Now there was speculation that he could retire, and he kind of put that to bed today. However, like he said, the Open doesn't really come around too often at
St. Andrews.
Yeah. It's like every 6 to 7 years, so probably not going to be very competitive down at that point in time. So this could be his last go here.
Could be.
We've talked about this before, but the Open is probably my favorite major championship tournament. I love being able to set my alarm clock and get up for those early tee times and watch it at 4 a.m.
As I talked about last episode that you weren't on, I hate mornings. Like, you could not pay me to set an alarm to watch those guys. Like, I'm sorry. I know that's probably a hot take.
That could be a hot take.
I don't like waking up early to watch TV or do anything. Like, I'd rather wake up at my own pace. That being said, I totally get it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I absolutely understand why somebody would, and I understand everything about it. I'm just not a morning person, mainly because I'm up super late every night. No, so it's harder for me.
Totally get you. Tiger, I believe, tees off at like 8:30 or 8:45, so it's actually too early.
I could do that.
Yeah, so not too bad. Normally, I have to check the tee times, but I believe the first tee time is like 2 or 3 in the morning at our time. So we can cover that, of course. We're going to do our picks like we have done in the past. We're going to do our who we think's going to win, who we'd like to win, and then
a dark horse.
Yep.
I have my 3.
Okay, we'll run through that in a bit. And then, again, we haven't talked a whole lot about Live Golf just because we haven't really been on the last few weeks or last week and a half, 2 weeks. But Bridgestone just ended Bryson DeChambeau's sponsorship.
Yep.
And that's based off of the Live Golf.
Which is kind of wild because he wasn't just like endorsed by Bridgestone. He was brought on to not necessarily create a golf ball, but they wanted him to be like big into the R&D of a certain kind of golf ball. So like he was brought on to like do all these different things internally, and they're just canning him.
I find that very strange. I was just trying to click on the article, and like you said, they did completely end it. I thought they just paused it, but they did end it.
Yeah.
And I wonder,
because he's playing the Open with a Bridgestone ball still without a contract.
Which makes sense. So you can still play the ball. You're just not getting paid for it.
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't think he's really hurting for money considering his big Live Golf contract.
Which I like, if the guys from Odin are listening, first of all, thanks for being a sponsor.
Heck yeah.
Forever.
Always.
But if they're listening, this might be your chance. You could send the golf balls to Bryson and be like, hey, we'll sponsor you.
We have we can shoot a DM to Bryson, see if he'll probably won't respond.
No, but it'd be cool. Hey, Jordan, get on it.
There we go. I like that idea. We didn't really mention it, and again, we're still kind of new hearing this, but the Justice Department is investigating the PGA Tour in regard What happened? Piece of art. It's kind of scary.
That scared me. Like I know there's a big storm going on, and then bam.
Yeah, we just had a big storm, and then one of my art pieces just fell off the wall. But
I wonder if it's the moisture in the air.
I was just thinking that because it's right by the door. I would actually put in. So we love the side note, but we love the Velcro double-sided.
I know you do.
We use.
I know you do.
I like the nail or the screws, but with
Why don't you guys use those little like hangers that you can peel off?
We could
command strips.
Try that too. But again, with like the apartment, like I don't know, I just find it like a little bit easier. Normally they don't really fall, but being next to the door like that does make sense.
Well, that one fell and scared the shit out of me.
Scared me too. So,
and ironically, it's about the Bible being good for you. And so far, the Bible tried to kill us. Holy smokes!
That was scary. Yeah, so we've had kind of a nasty little storm roll by, but I think we're good now. So I apologize for that, for the disruption.
I don't. That was great.
But apparently they're investigating the PGA Tour for behavior toward LIV Golf. So I think it's going to get pretty nasty between I mean, it already has been nasty.
Could they sue them for like defamation type of thing?
They certainly could.
Because I feel like they've only talked shit about the PGA. Or I'm sorry, the PGA's, about LIV, which I feel like the more guys talk about hopping to the LIV, it makes more and more sense. Because I think Pat Perez said that, he made the jump and now he's set for life. Yeah. Which, if you look at it that way, I have nothing against anybody who's jumped over. Like, I totally get it. Like, you can make more now than you ever could on tour.
Depends on where you're at in your career, too. Like someone Rory's huge on pushing for the PGA, which I totally understand his stance.
Something he said I really didn't like, though.
What was that?
He was saying how they're lucky just to be able to play on the PGA regardless of money. Well, then why don't you play for free? You know what I mean? Like there's an element of like, yes, he's right. He's very privileged to play on the PGA Tour. So is Justin Thomas and everybody else involved, right? Mm-hmm. But the way he said it made it sound like he would play for free. Which in that sense, and why even play competitively, I guess, without winning anything? That's kind of what irked me, because I was just like, well, it makes you sound like you're better than everybody. Which, granted, he's won more than everybody, so he can say it. But like someone like, Collin Morikawa, or even the younger, Will Zalatoris, they still have to pay for things. You know what I mean?
It'll be interesting to see. I think there are going to be a lot more people that jump over to the LIV Golf series, being that they're able to kind of afford all this. I mean, be able to pay the kind of money that they're paying right now. I mean, I think it'll continue to grow. There was a rumor, I don't know if you've seen that, but they're talking about that they're going to have a LIV Golf series for women.
Oh, interesting.
Starting next year, and it's going to basically have
like LPGA players.
Yep. They're going to try to, again, that isn't confirmed, but there was like a pretty well-known source that was saying that that's kind of their next move for moving into next year, so I think it's going to be a kind of a rocky road for the LPGA and the PGA Tour in the next upcoming years. So,
which, pay the ladies.
Pay the ladies. The U.S. Open, they did double the.
They did, yeah.
So that's awesome to see.
That's super great to see. But yeah, pay the ladies. Like the ladies are as good, if not better.
I think they have probably
than the men.
Swings. So Nelly Korda's swing is probably the next.
Lexi Thompson. She's super good.
There's a lot of good.
Obviously, there was Michelle Wie. She's now retired.
But she's a big advocate for the game.
Well, she went pro at a young age. So did Lexi Thompson. But pay the ladies.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah, since we're already talking about the Open Championship, we will go through our picks. Dom, if you want, we can start off with you with your favorite.
I was not prepared for that segue. Yeah,
sorry.
Asshole.
Transitioned into the back to the Open Championship.
So for my favorite, I think overall the favorite to win is Rory. I think he has 9-1 odds. I didn't want to pick the obvious one because the obvious one never wins. At least that's how I feel. I picked Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm, 14-1. I feel like he's just due, and I think he's been playing really good golf lately, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've actually been able to sit down and watch golf, just because I'm pretty busy in the summer with work. But I like Jon Rahm.
I don't think you can go wrong with that pick. I think it's a
No,
pretty
I
solid
mean the
choice.
dude plays good golf kind of day in, day out.
He's got the game. It's more of like if he can keep his head on a swivel,
He's
his
yeah,
mental.
for him it's not like can he physically do it, it's can he like mentally,
Yeah, put 4 rounds together.
yeah, which I mean is like the hardest thing to do in any sport is
Sure.
you have to be consistent for 4 days and not just be consistent, but like consistently good.
Right. Well, I will have to say I also, Rory is the favorite. I went with the second favorite, and that's Xander Schauffele. He just finished first place. He won the Scottish Open last
Hmm.
week, and I feel like that links style golf course game is, he already kind of rolling, playing really well. Xander's one of those guys that kind of like Colin Morikawa, like they both just always seem to be
They both play,
up on the
yeah, he
leaderboard.
plays really smart golf, which I mean, it's not always the most entertaining thing to watch because obviously you want to see guys risk it for the biscuit,
Yeah,
yada yada yada. But there's something about watching him play where it almost feels like he's playing in slow motion.
it's fun to watch.
He's so good, and I love watching him. I like his game.
Who would you like to see win?
You actually said it. I want to see Colin.
Colin?
I want to
Okay.
see Morikawa.
I like Colin.
I feel like he's another one who plays really smart golf, and the link style plays to his strengths really well. Where he's not going to leave it somewhere where it's probably too far gone. Um, Obviously, it's a big course. That's kind of the issue with a lot of golfers. But he's young, plays good golf. He's a smart guy. I'd like to see Colin kind of come out with it.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm gonna go with probably I don't want to say 95% of everyone, but I kind of would like to see. I kind of cheated a little bit. I said Tiger or Rory, and I think that's just Tiger. Obviously, if he makes, I'm not saying I think he's gonna win. Obviously, this is our picks of who we want to see win, and if he ended up winning this major championship, it would be unbelievable. But I would also like to see Rory win it. So those two are my.
Yeah.
He's just such a great advocate for the game of golf, and I think that would really kind of put a fire back into some more heated conversations between Rory and everyone else that's joined Live Golf. There is a good chance that some of these players might not be able to play in these tournaments in the next 3 to 5 years,
Probably next year, even.
even next year. So I think that's where I'm on Rory's side. But again, it's easy for me to
Hmm.
say that taking Rory's stance because Rory has plenty of money,
Yeah.
plenty
I
of
mean,
trophies, hardware.
he's got a huge contract with Nike, all of his other sponsorships. That's where I was saying, well, like, yeah, you're privileged, but you're also getting paid a shitload of money, whether you win or lose, from your sponsorships. That's kind of where I'm sure he didn't mean it like that either, but like, that's kind of where I was like, well, that's not a very good way to put it.
I agree. There could have been he could have said it a little bit better, worded it a little bit better,
Yeah.
but
Because obviously he doesn't need to win any more money, but like the younger guys who are trying to make a name for themselves would probably be nice to win.
I think his main point was, hey, we're not playing for money here. We're
Yeah,
playing for championships, and these are the highest level players in the world.
right.
Let's keep it that way because we're playing for these championships, and so that I think was his stance. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Um, so who would be your dark horse pick?
So I hope we didn't pick the same dude, but I picked Molinari.
Francisco
Yeah,
Molinari. Okay, I like that
I
pick.
feel like every so often he comes out of the blue and just shocks everybody. I feel like that could be this week. I mean, he's 150 to 1.
151.
So it's not like a super duper dark horse, but I was afraid to pick other guys because I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to play like some of the live guys.
I thought you were honestly gonna pick Phil.
I thought about it.
What's he at? Was he like because
200 to 1 or something.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I think Bryson is right there too. And I was like, God, Bryson in this course could be kind of fun to
Yeah,
watch.
I thought for sure you were gonna take Phil on that one. I was actually contemplating taking Phil but I was like, you know what? I'm sure we always bring a Phil comment in the
In the pod.
podcast. It seems like. Um, so my dark horse.
You got to talk towards the microphone.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of
Yeah, you don't
kind of leaning.
You don't look at your laptop.
I'm looking at trying to figure out the odds for my guy, but
that's why I hit copy paste.
There you go.
Yeah, think smarter.
Mine is set up a little differently. That's why I was like on the odds.
I just have a. Oh, do we not use the same article?
No, I use like Vegas Insider.
Oh, mine was CBS Golf.
Yeah, but in any case, I went with Sahith Theegala. I don't know if you recall Sahith Theegala.
Is he the young dude who had to rent the U-Haul?
Yes.
Attaboy.
Yeah, so that would be pretty sick to see.
That'd be sweet.
He's 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. Met his girlfriend through the DMs on the Instagram.
Attaboy.
He's actually a really good golfer. He's super young, got the length, and we'll see. Hopefully, he definitely has a chance. I mean, anyone in that has a chance. So, with that being said, we had our golf trip 2 weeks ago now, right?
Yeah.
It would be 2 weeks. This weekend, so a week and a half. We went up to Dom's cabin, which we've been trying to do that for the last 4 years.
We did it though. Better late than never.
We made it happen. Yeah, we made it happen. Played a couple of courses. We played Giants Ridge, the Legends Giants Ridge.
The Legends.
And then we played the Wilderness
at Fortune Bay.
At Fortune Bay.
Yep.
So had a great time. Had a couple of buddies up there.
Drank 2, 3, 4, 5 beers.
A couple of 13, 14s, some brewskis. What would be your biggest? Like we talked about some different things that you're gonna ask me about golf.
I have some pros and cons.
Yeah, so let's do you have those popped up?
Oh yeah,
fire away.
Oh yeah,
I want to hear what you got.
Let's start the pros. My pro number 1 is that it's a trip. Trips are fun.
Now, these are pros and cons for golf trips?
Golf trips.
Okay.
Yep. Pros and cons for golf trips. Trips are fun, usually, right? Unless it's a work trip, but even then, it's kind of neat.
Even if you're able to stick around a golfing, even on a work trip, then yeah, it's fun. But yeah.
Yeah. My second pro is it's a boys' trip. What's better than a trip with the boys?
Gotta get a trip with the boys.
Well, my third pro is it's a boys' trip with golf. What's better than that?
And you're going to a cabin. You're on the lake.
Well, we didn't really go on the lake.
We didn't really go on the lake.
But we were close enough.
We were on the dock.
Yeah, we weren't in the lake. Yeah.
So we were pretty much right.
Yeah. And then for cons, my number 1 con. Oh, yeah. So my number 1 con is it costs money. And then, we had to pay for it. It wasn't free.
Right.
That kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, free golf's the best golf.
Yeah. I mean, we tried to get it for free.
We did.
They shot us down real quick.
We got shot down.
But that's okay. My second con is I have to plan and then pack things, both of which I'm not super good at.
Oh, see, I'm pretty good about planning. I'm definitely an itinerary kind of guy.
I am too.
Granted, it wasn't my cabin as your cabin.
I am too, but it's hard to keep track of 4 people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
No. And then yeah, no. I actually packed really well though. I had a jacket because it did rain on Sunday. It was nice and warm.
Freezing cold Sunday.
It was cold. Yeah.
It was 78 to 80 degrees on Saturday. Perfect weather.
And then it rained and the mosquitoes came out. But Sunday it was
48 degrees and windy
and rainy. Yeah, luckily I had my jacket in the car. And then my third con of a golf trip is I'm bad at golf.
You're not bad at golf. You played pretty well on
the front 9.
Yeah.
Sunday,
that's everyone.
Because I was 9 over when we made the turn.
Terrible.
And you were dude, you're 9 over. I was shut up, don't tell me. And then I laid a total goose egg and came back down to earth.
Well, yeah, to talk about a roller coaster of a round, I had 3 birdies and had about 3 or 4 triples.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've had 3 birdies in a round and then have that many triples. So it was tough. But the wind conditions were they were not easy. And then obviously with the rain, it added the extra factor, and the greens too. So we talked about that.
Yeah.
The Wilderness is a really beautiful track. Unfortunately, they were hit with some late snow.
So it wasn't late snow. There just wasn't a spring until May.
That makes sense.
So our cabin, you look out the dock and there's all that water. That was iced until mid-May.
Wow, so that explains it. So they just really didn't have a chance.
So they didn't have a late snow. They just had snow until middle of May, and you're just like,
It's crazy.
holy, yeah, no, dude, it's wild.
Because it's a beautiful track, but again, it was hard to really get a feel just because the greens weren't they
Yeah. Well, and my
wasn't
excuse is,
wasn't their fault.
yeah, well, and I haven't hit my irons, and now I can't hit my 7-iron.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I still have the 2 7-irons. It is broken. We're still working on getting that replaced. A brand new 7-iron that probably just hit 3 times.
No, that was my second time hitting it.
Okay, so it's the second time.
Yeah, so I never hit my irons super like a lot.
Still trying to get it. It normally takes about a good year to really get your distances down
Like
with new
I
irons.
really like hitting them. Other than like my big pet peeve is they don't have a line under the 9. So there's that one hole, I think it's hole 9 at the Wilderness, where you have to kind of lay up because then you have to hit it over some water.
You grabbed the wrong iron.
I grabbed the wrong iron and smoked it. I went to grab my 9 and I grabbed the 6, and I was like, wow, I really hit that 9-iron really far. And then you're like, are you sure it's a 9? And I was like, oh my God, I hit my 6-iron really far. So
I still do that from time to time. Like, and I have the line under mine. It's more or less like I have to like put the club around to like an 8 or like a 4-iron so I could actually see how the number goes. Because even with the line, I sometimes because it still will look like a 9 or a 6 depending on.
I might physically like draw a line just so I know which one. But I was like, wow, that 9-iron went really far. And they were like, are you sure it was a 9?
Turned out it was a farce. It was a long, well struck 6-iron.
Unfortunately, yeah. The fortunate part is it hit a hill and bounced into play. So that was pretty good.
What's your favorite? What was your favorite part of the trip?
I really liked. So obviously we were the first ones up there because the other two were just kind of late, which I kind of figured would happen knowing those two. I shouldn't say knowing those two. One of them.
One of them.
Yeah. It's hard to pinpoint. I get excited just driving up because obviously I drove up the next weekend. God, I really liked Giants Ridge until it rained and woke the mosquitoes up, and then I hated it.
Yeah, mosquitoes were pretty brutal after the.
Yeah, this was the first time I've ever taken like a night's camera to a golf course, so that was super fun. I really just enjoyed having everybody up and kind of playing host for a weekend, and because I mean it's a cabin, like it's nothing like super luxurious by any means, but it's enough.
Nice. Yeah, it's very nice.
I think just having everybody up there and making sure nobody died was super fun.
Everyone made it up. Everyone made it home safely.
For the most part, yeah. Other than my 7-iron.
7-iron made it home just not safely. Not safely.
I think my favorite. Okay, so I take that back. My favorite part is you're like, oh, we can fix it, and then you snapped it. I was like, you definitely fixed it, all right. I think that was my favorite part.
Fix it as in we're gonna have to get a new shaft
because it was kinked, and you're like, oh, watch this, I can fix it, and then you fixed it by breaking it.
No, yeah, that's definitely the first. I've popped a tire in a golf cart once before, and that's the first time I've actually.
Oh, we almost rolled it down a hill.
Almost rolled. That was actually pretty wild.
That was scary.
That was. My least favorite thing was when the Wilderness, the nice lady said that it was cart path only for the par threes,
and it was a fucking lie.
First fairway we got out there, and it's a big course.
It's big.
It's like 2 fairways almost on every hole and a lot of holes.
So actually, the hole 1 you can play it up on the left, up high.
Exactly. Which again, without really knowing.
Well, I think from what, because we were playing not like the far, but we were kind of like in the middle. I think the first hole is still 580.
Yeah, so because it's a par 5. Yeah, it's a long par 5.
It's a big course to have to walk.
Yeah, playing cart path only, it was pretty brutal considering.
Which, yeah, like
the part it was the par 3s, which is pretty much every golf course.
Like, right, the par 3s you can't really even drive on because everything is separated, right? Because I mean, the first par 3 you're elevated, the second one you're elevated, and then the third one's physically over water. Like you're not gonna be able to drive on it regardless. But
every hole though was really pretty. It had a lot of cool. A lot of cool scenic views.
I like how it's kind of, I don't want to say that it's like carved into the earth, but they did keep a lot of features.
Kind of preserved it almost, like keep it like natural.
Yeah, like obviously you're going over, I think it's going to the third hole, we have to drive over that rock formation that was kind of left in. That's one of my favorite parts. Giants Ridge, I feel like is Like to me, it's just as fun, but I prefer the wilderness. I don't know if it's just because I feel like I'm better at the wilderness. However, I did have some pretty good shots at Giants Ridge. The one that comes to mind was there's that par three and I hit it kind of short and I was like on the face of the hill.
Yep.
And I was able to like pop it straight up onto the green. Did I save that one for par?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. So for me, it's hard to like really judge. I liked Giants Ridge better. Just the fact that I played better and the conditions were a lot better, but the greens were better. But I feel like I probably like the wilderness
if it's not if it was, 30-mile-an-hour winds and rainy.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I normally we've talked about this playing tennis, but I like to play early in the morning. And of course, like if it would have been flipped a little bit time wise, because we played early in the morning, which obviously it's colder when you're up north.
Right.
It didn't help with the wind and the rain. So
the worst part is when we left was around the time when I would have liked to have played. It was super nice.
Of course.
Sunny.
Typically 70 degrees.
Now do you see why I don't like morning golf?
Well, and if you play in the summer like that, normally it's not too bad, but you just never, it's hard to predict weather.
No, I know. Yeah. Which I'm happy it wasn't the original forecast because the original forecast had rain all weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll take a little drizzle in the morning.
We were able to finish and we were able to play both rounds like we wanted. I would like to play what's the other one?
The Quarry.
The Quarry. I'd like to play that one just so I have a better idea.
That one's more
tighter fairways, right?
Iron heavy is how a lot of people describe it. That one is more if you're good with irons, you're going to really excel. There's one hole, and the whole reason I have the driving iron, shameless plug to Haywood. Good. Shameless plug, even though I did pay for it. Thanks. But there's a certain hole, I don't remember which one it is because I've only played it once. The fairway is super tight and it's lined with trees on both sides and then a hill. And if you hit your driver even a little off target, you're screwed.
It's gone.
Where I hit my irons better than my driver for the most part. So if I have a driving iron and I can hit it low and straight, that hole all of a sudden becomes really fun sounding to me. Last time I played, I was trying to, I gave up after a while, which nobody's surprised. There's one hole where I was trying to get it bounce off this rock and then bounce onto the green.
Didn't you? Did that happen to you though? Like, not when we were playing, but like a while back that you almost. Was it a par three? Did you hit something and the land almost hit, or was it? You almost hit a hole in one?
Yeah, so I was at a local course. It was bunker.
Oh, I thought it was. I was thinking you had like almost a hole in one on.
I did at Giants Ridge.
Okay,
that was 17 though at the Legend.
Okay, that's their signature.
That's their signature. Yeah,
that's a sweet hole.
But the last time I played it, we played it a little closer. Like we weren't super far away from it. Like I felt like because I looked at it and I was like, damn, this feels way further than I remember. And it wasn't until I got back to the cart and I was like, we didn't play these tees last time I played. Yeah, because
you were saying you hit a 7-iron last time and it was playing like 190.
Yeah.
This time. So,
this time it was super. Yeah, and I was just like, damn, I wish I had my 7-iron.
That 7-iron is my bag.
Yeah, no, I was at bunker and there's that one. I think it's the fourth hole on the exec where you're teed up a little bit higher. On the left, there's that kind of pond. Is that it?
Yep.
So there's rocks around that, and I pulled my shot left. It bounced off the rock and onto the green. And I was like, oh my God.
Better to be lucky than good sometimes.
I
know exactly which one you're talking about. I actually love playing that. I haven't played it in years.
I love that course. One of my buddies is just getting into golf, so that's where I want to take him first. Just because that's a fun, it's not super challenging, but it lets you use all your clubs, which I think when you're first learning is really nice.
Absolutely. Because they have number like 6 and 7, or
you could even
use your driver.
Well, you could do 2.
Yeah.
2 is definitely driver.
Oh yeah, 2 is a driver. Absolutely.
Otherwise, there's that dog leg, which is 5.
Yep. So that's
6, you could use your driver.
There's technically 3.
Because 6, I drove the green one time.
Yeah, because that's the one that's a dog leg left. But
no, that's 5. 5's a dog leg right.
Yep, but that's the
6 is straight.
6 is straight. That's right. So there's almost 4, I think.
8 kind of curves left.
Yeah, you could use a driver if you didn't hit it super far, but
I used my 5-wood one year and played that curve perfectly, and I've never been able to do it since. That makes me real sad.
That's a smarter move, I think. But Some people could use a driver if you wanted to, but yeah, there's really almost 4 holes.
No,
for sure.
That's a super fun, kind of underrated course. I haven't been there in a while though.
No, it's been a couple of years for me.
I would say my least favorite part of the trip. I don't want to be tacky and say leaving, but like leaving always sucks because I love it up there. But the mosquitoes after the rain at Giants Ridge were brutal. Like I have never seen them that bad. And like our place is sprayed. So like after we left, we had it resprayed and everything, so there were no bugs. But yeah, that rain just woke up something fierce. I couldn't get comfortable. And then obviously when we almost flipped the cart, my adrenaline was like through the roof, so I could not settle down for a few holes.
A little scary. Yeah, that was a little scary. That's one bad thing that we have for Minnesota as far as like our weather's fine for the most part, but those mosquitoes, and once they're out,
Yeah,
it's so bad. I mean, we like how many times did we use bug spray?
So I forgot you had bug spray.
Well, I did 2 at first.
Well, and like I heard somebody say I had bug spray, and I was like, okay, but I did not pay attention to who was yelling.
You're the last one to definitely take some bug spray.
Yeah, I could not like sit still, so I feel like I was rushing everything. Yeah, that cart was kind of scary because we were up on the side of the hill going down towards your ball, right?
Yep.
And then they like locked up and we're spinning. Were we screaming? I don't even.
No, I think we were screaming inside, but
it just went in like a blur because my beer was all over, and
it was like we were in slow motion. It was kind of scary because it was out of our control at that point. There was nothing I could do or you could do it was either like we're gonna flip it or luckily we did nothing like that happen. But
our car did die though.
Oh yeah, it did die.
It did die, so we had to be pushed up every hill.
What about the beverage cart?
Oh my god.
17.
Yeah, so 17, there's this bev car girl, which first of all, I'm still mad that the dudes in front of us stopped.
Those guys were clowns.
Like, it's hole 17. Why are you buying more beer when we're trying to get off the course and go home? Because we were going to go out to eat, which we still did.
Yep.
But it's like, and then they looked at us and they're like, sorry. You're like, dude, it's hole 17. Like, get over it.
Clubhouse.
Yeah. They have a full restaurant.
The 19th hole.
They have a full restaurant that's like really good. She
was having a day. It sounded
like. She was having a rough day because she backed into not our cart but the other two's cart.
Yeah,
and then
the other two that we were golfing.
Slammed into him, and then she was gonna back up and smacked a tree.
Oh, and it was like a big tree branch.
Yeah, and totally then stuff fell and everything, and she's like, "Oops," and I was like, "That's a big oops."
That was a big oops, but I felt bad for her.
Oh, she was a good sport about it though, which was really nice because we were like, "Hey, our cart's gonna die," and she's like, "Yeah, that's okay."
Yeah, we ended up having our the other two literally like basically push us up to the freaking hills because it's so elevated.
Well, yeah, you're so up and down on that course, which is why it's super fun because you like fly through the woods down this dirt path, which is to me is wild. Oh, another thing that was my favorite part. You were like, "Do we turn here?" And it's a dock.
Yeah, we talked about that.
It felt like The Office, where they're just like, "Oh, I turn now," and Dwight's like, "No, Michael, no, that's what is it?
There's literally a lake right here."
Yeah, it's telling me to turn. You're like, "Do we turn now?" And we're like, "Derek."
That was pretty fun. That's kind of a joke, but kind of not really.
I was like, God, if I don't say anything, he's gonna turn.
All the cool. Also, I did see little black bear and a big black bear.
We did see some black bears.
That's the first time I've actually seen.
I told my family, and they were like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "We kept driving."
Well, no, I wanted.
You tried to.
I'm just glad we saw him in a car, not a golf cart.
Oh,
because that would have been wild.
Well, I mean, my car is not much different than a golf cart.
Well, at least it's
got windows.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least it's enclosed, and our cart was dead, so we would have been literally.
Oh, but we have golf clubs to fight them off, and bug spray.
3 7-irons.
2, 3, 4 beers too.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a great time. Hopefully we can get another trip soon before the end of the year. Then we can play the other Giants Ridge course too.
Yeah, we go up in the fall.
Yeah, it'd be fun. They have pretty good rates too in the fall.
Yeah, no, I feel like what we paid in the middle of the summer wasn't too bad either, considering how nice the course is and kind of all the amenities. Because like driving range is included, everything's included.
Yeah, it was nice.
The carts are really nice.
They normally are at the Legend or the Wilderness. That one, no, it was the Giants Ridge. Which one was it? Yeah, Giants Ridge.
What are you talking about?
When our cart was almost dead, that was
Giants Ridge. Yeah.
But the carts are nice. We just, unfortunately,
I like the ones at the Wilderness a little bit better because they're like you get the GPS and like
sure.
they have like Bluetooth speakers built in as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't figure them out for some reason. Like my phone just won't pick them up. But like, yeah, I really like that course. I think it's super fun.
There was one other thing I wanted to mention at the golf course. Oh, the dog there, the hot dog. That one was really
Oh,
good.
I was like, what dog? And
The hot dog was
I
good.
know it, yeah.
But there was one other thing that I was going to mention. Oh, we talked about the bear. Were you going to add on to that? Did you say something about your parent? You said your
Yeah, my family was like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "We drove by the bear." Because you were trying to like get a picture, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, by the time you get your phone out, they're gone."
Yep.
And what happened?
It was gone.
They were gone.
The mama bear you could tell was kind of like still tucked in the woods, kind of standing a little.
Did you look?
Yeah.
Because they were like, she was up with her ears up, and I was like, "You better get going." Especially since like I forgot my wallet, so you're like freaking out. You're like, oh, "I'm gonna drive back." I was like, "You do that."
Yeah, I drove back. We had a blast. Like I said, it was a good time. We do plan on. I'll be out of town again this upcoming week. We plan on recording and might potentially have a guest on. We have a couple of guests lined up. We just haven't figured out the dates yet.
Okay.
So I still have to kind of figure that out.
And then obviously this one's gonna come out not this Friday, but next Friday.
Yep.
Because of the one that was supposed to be this week came out Sunday.
Sure.
Because
so we're still getting stuff out. It's just been a little bit of
we've been
a little delayed.
We've been traveling.
Been busy, yeah. One thing I did want to mention is Dom is volunteering at the 3M Open, which is taking place next weekend. So
18th through the 24th.
Yep. So the weekend basically right after the Open Championship.
I'm volunteering
pretty much all week.
No, 3 days.
3 days.
3 mornings. So I don't want to be there all day. I hate to break it to them, but like I have like other stuff I'd like to do. Well, no, I just want to sleep a little bit.
Can't blame you there.
So originally they scheduled me all day Wednesday, like say like 5 a.m. to like 5 p.m. Like you're there all day, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to enjoy some golf because last year I volunteered and then went straight to work.
So you really didn't get to.
I didn't really have time. Where this year it's like I took PTO all week, and thank God my boss doesn't listen to these because I don't know. I think he'd be mad, but just like I took a week off so I could volunteer and watch golf.
I think that he should definitely give you an okay on that.
Well, I mean, he's the one who authorized it, and I just said I was volunteering. So
there you go.
But like this year, I wanted to be able to say, hey, maybe I want to go Tuesday and get some player autographs and watch them practice.
Yep.
Or
and have some good stories for the podcast.
Yeah. Or even, if we go Friday, or like even if we go Saturday, we can like watch like an actual like competitive round. Because the cool thing about the 3M Open is I think last year hole 18 had the most balls in the water on tour.
Yep. On average, it has the most golf balls. Yep.
So that's kind of cool coming from Minnesota, where it was like a Champions.
All the tournaments.
Yeah, and it was like a Champions Tour event, and now seeing like PGA players struggle on there is kind of fun.
Because 18, fun to watch. That's where I kind of hung out most of the time last year.
18's a beast.
It is a beast.
Last year, I was able to, because I had to walk to like, I could have taken the bus to the volunteer headquarters, but I decided to walk around. I was able to actually walk some of the holes. 18's a monster. I have no desire to play 18, even though I love to play the course. Don't get me wrong, but like that'd probably be my like least favorite hole to sit there and go, oh my god.
It's a beast of a hole, that's for sure.
Because you can either play it super safe and kind of go around.
Yep. But kind of lay it up, leave it short, and have yourself like 60 to 80 yards. Otherwise, if you can bomb it, you can get there into, but again, the water pretty much surrounds the whole front and right side of the green.
Super pretty.
Depends on the pin placement too. So
yeah, what's cool is like I'm volunteering. I get like a uniform and everything. My badge gets me in every day, and then they give me a couple free tickets. So that's kind of cool too.
So I might be there on Saturday, potentially maybe Friday, probably Saturday if I can. So
yeah, no, you and I could go Saturday. Yeah, I can meet you. Well, I'll already be there.
Sure.
Like I could meet you. Plus, I get a discount in the clubhouse. So if you want like merch, we can get merch.
It's a win-win. Get some merch, get some maybe some brewskis, and watch some
13, 14.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that we can think of? Well, we talked about the Bryson thing. We didn't really talk too much about it, but
you know what's crazy about the Bryson thing? Like, because if I read right, he's the first player to actually lose a sponsorship over it. Because Phil He didn't lose Callaway. It's they're on hold or something, right? And that happened before he jumped to the Live.
Did he lose that KMPG or whatever?
That was before he jumped to the Live.
Okay, that was before it. It was
that
like
was
when he made the comments.
That was from his comments he made. Same thing with Callaway. But they haven't dropped him since he's been on the Live Tour. But Bryson's the first person to get dropped from a sponsor. The article I was reading saying that this could either be a catalyst for other companies to say, "Hey, we're just going to cut you," or it could be an anomaly. Because I could see it going both ways. Where
there's an opportunity for maybe another company or another brand to hop on Bryson's.
Well, I could also see it being where other brands are like, "Damn, they cut him. We could cut our player and save money." Or I could see them being like, "That's wrong. We're not going to do that." So it could go one of two ways.
Yep.
It does open the door for smaller companies, like Odin
Golf,
hook up Bryson. That'd be kind of sweet.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I was like, okay, well, at the end of the day, there's you have a lot of people that are totally for it, a lot of people that are totally against it, but there are still plenty of other big companies and sponsors that are like, hey, if you're going to do that, like this is a great opportunity that I think that Live Golf is going to be around. And I think
the first event did well enough to kind of solidify that they can still make money off of these players, as in the brands.
You see the big jet that they're rocking?
Yeah.
On Instagram, but that's pretty wild. I mean, they definitely know how to do it up. I mean, they're not afraid to spend money, obviously.
No, they definitely make it worth it for the players, which is super cool.
And the caddies.
Yeah, the caddies make a bang too. Good for them.
That's pretty cool. So I'm sure a lot of caddies are like, dude, if you want to go, let's go.
Yeah. No, if I was a caddy, I'd be like, hey, we suck. Let's go over there.
A guaranteed no cut. I did watch some of the tournament in Oregon, the Pumpkin, I think it's Pumpkin, gosh, I should know this. It's like Pumpkin Hills or Pumpkin Ridge Golf Course in Oregon. That was the last tournament, and it was fun to watch. And it's kind of cool because it's there's like no commercials. You watch it, you can either click it, go to their website, or you can just go to YouTube and you.
I know at our tournament they were saying, I don't want to throw names out because I don't want to be wrong, but one of them was saying that there's like if you watch the PGA or like ESPN or whatever the PGA is on, there's like 2 or 3 predetermined graphics that'll pop up, and then there's an average of like 30 seconds per player or something like that, right before commercial. They're saying that with the Live events, there's no commercials. There's like one predetermined graph, and then you watch a lot more golf per player. So you can actually like see them play versus just like, here's Tiger's shot, bam, here's Rory.
I'll say I'm still not a fan of their scoreboard.
Oh, I think I've seen it.
It's kind of hard to really like. It's just kind of constantly like moves up and down, and it's like because like they do the individual, and then like it'll be the team.
And then it's the team.
So it's kind of hard to really kind of. So that's the only thing that I could really as like a viewer of watching it. But I mean, they've done a really good job with.
Well, and I'm sure there's a lot of kinks to work out, right? It's a brand new thing because even like with our tournament, we're like, we could do that differently. It's a new product,
right?
I don't know. My mood has kind of changed towards it.
Yeah, I think we were both kind of like. Well, I mean, I think
I'm still
a little more.
I'm still kind of skeptical just because it feels like it's a lot of money being thrown around. But then they kind of have to because it's the first year of it. They got to get people playing. It just feels like it's not sustainable. I'd like it to be sustainable because I think that'd be kind of cool. Not to like pit them against each other, but it'd be kind of cool to have like somehow they work together where you get to do like PGA versus Live events and like have them team up that way.
And I think that's kind of what.
I don't think the PGA would ever do that.
I think
that's the issue.
Right. I think Liv's like, hey, let's try to grow this together. Well, not now, I don't think, but I think that's kind of the goal. It's like, let's have 2.
What's interesting, what I find interesting, is they're making the PGA seem really outdated. And I don't want to say that in like a derogatory or negative way, but like they're almost like, hey, we're the new shiny toy on the block. You guys are like the old man type thing. Which in a lot of sense they are, right?
Sure.
Live seems like they're all about pushing their product, growing the game,
taking care of the players, and I mean, they're giving them pretty much anything and everything.
Yeah, which I'm not saying the PGA doesn't do that, but we try to post anything PGA related, it gets taken down.
Yeah.
There's a guy, I don't know if you saw this, but he recorded his like an actual shot from his own phone. So he made the video and the PGA took it down for copyright. And you're just like, you're not trying to grow the game. You're trying to grow the PGA brand, not the players.
Yeah, you're just making people upset because at the end of the day, he recorded it on his phone. That's his video.
Where I don't know if the Live is any different, or if we repost something from Live, they flag it. But they're at least making it seem like they're more fun and modern. And I don't want to say younger necessarily, but it does feel like they are promoting players more than the PGA does.
It's definitely more of a fun league. It
seems like it's more fun.
Where it's at. And I think that's the big difference between, like, so going back to like what Rory said, like it's a lot of money. These guys are just having a good time. It sounds like they're just, I mean, they're playing competitive golf, but at the end of the day, it's golf, and they're just like, hey, I'm playing till Saturday, and now I have my Sunday to go do whatever the heck I want.
You can go fishing.
You're playing, you know, there's no cuts, 3 days of tournament play, and you got there's only 8 events right now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll have more down the road like next year. But I mean, there's 8 events. So you're playing 8 events and you're making that much money. And, PGA Tour players like Pat Perez, he was saying he's played for over 20 to 30 years.
Something like that.
Plays at 20 to 40 tournaments a year, which is a lot of travel.
That's a lot of golf.
A lot of money, a lot of travel, a lot of golf. I mean, he's still a pretty big name, so he's got sponsors, but still, he's not one of those big top tier names.
No, and I feel like if you're on the PGA and you're not a Tiger or a Rory or a Spieth or a JT, I just feel like they don't care. Because they only really seem to post the big names on their account, other than like maybe a few young guys like Colin or Zalatoris. But I feel like Zalatoris only became big because he looked like Happy Gilmore's caddy.
I think so. That's
versus his actual game, because his game is super solid. But there's a lot of guys who has really solid game that you never hear anything about because they're not a Rory, they're not a Tiger. Which again, that might be a hot take as well. But I just don't feel like they advertise their product as well as they could, because like if you look at the NBA, Ja Morant's young and he's a superstar, and that's all the NBA is about right now, are these younger talented kids. Like obviously, LeBron is arguably the face of the NBA. You could argue Curry or anybody else, but right now they're focusing on Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, Giannis, Melo. Yeah. There's all these young stars, and they're doing a very good job making that the product.
Very good, job.
Even the MLB, like they're doing a great job with all these younger stars like Juan Soto and Byron Buxton.
Who's the dude that's 6'7" that they're just talking
O'Neal
about?
Cruz. He's a stud.
Insane.
He is on. So I know you were talking about wanting to invest in MLB cards. Him.
Yeah, well, he's 6'7", tallest infielder of ever. Right?
So he's 6'7", throws, or he's as fast as Tyreek Hill, and he throws as hard as Shohei.
That's insane.
So they were saying he threw across the diamond in his season debut. It's not his major league debut because he debuted last season, but he threw across the diamond at like 96. So from shortstop to first, he threw 96.
Jeez. And that's only 60 feet from short.
It's a little different.
Yeah, I just say
because I don't.
But still,
that's unreal. And he's as fast as Tyreek, and he hits the ball 110.
So is he? Why hasn't he been in the league for?
Because the Pirates are a trash can.
Okay.
They said that. So the MLB, they do a service time manipulation. Like they're not supposed to. Like the MLB is trying to crack down on it. The Pirates said that they didn't bring him up right away because they wanted him to work on his outfielder skills. But he's a shortstop. But then when you break down his games in the outfield in AAA, he played 2.
Huh. So all the rest, how are you working on his outfielding if you're not even playing?
Exactly. No, it's strictly O'Neal Cruz.
O'Neal Cruz, yeah. I saw a video of him the other day. I'm like, wow.
He's a stud, dude. He's so good. Like, there's nothing really exciting happening in Pittsburgh when it comes to the Pirates.
Except that.
Other than him. Yeah. Another good one is Wander Franco. Not to go on a whole baseball rant, but like Wander Franco in Tampa Bay, he is going to be really good. He's another young shortstop.
No, I'm excited to I'm excited to see how that guy plays out because it's crazy. Well, like they said, he's as tall as Judge.
As tall as Judge, runs like Tyreek Hill, and throws like Shohei.
He's got like all the skills that insane.
And he hits his exit velo on one of his hits was like 110, 112. So he hits the ball very hard and he barrels it.
which is not really known for an infielder.
No, it's unheard of. No, he's definitely a special talent. Like, granted, we have Carlos Correa. Like, that alone is exciting with Byron Buxton, but like a young shortstop that can do all that, man, he could be onto something.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the next few weeks. So we have hopefully we'll have a couple guests on coming up soon, and then obviously we'll probably cover the Open Championship when we hop back on. So we just to confirm, so this whole week is going to be the solo podcast. Well, not solo with you, but it was with the Pinehurst Six. That's pretty much going all of this week, which is already released.
Yep, that one came out Sunday. Just because.
No, it's awesome.
I wanted to put it up before their trip
for sure,
so people could at least tune in because they're going to be. Obviously, this is going to be past tense, but they want to. In the past, they've like live stream a couple holes where there's one where everybody hits into the water and they're over under. I think it's 12 between all of them. Yeah, I wanted to get that out so people like if they wanted to tune in and follow their trip, they could do that. Sure. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And then so this one will release next Friday.
Friday
like this 23rd or 22nd or something like that.
22nd. Yep, I can release the 22nd.
Cool. Awesome. And then, like I said, hopefully we'll have a couple guests on in the upcoming weeks, and then we'll kind of get back to our regular schedule where it'll either be us once a week or us and a guest. So we'll kind of lay that out probably the next couple weeks and figure that out.
Yeah, we have to make like an actual like schedule, like calendar.
And we've done a pretty good job up until this last few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we've been traveling and then like the 4th of July and everything, you know.
So appreciate your patience with us.
You know what the worst part is? I brought this up to my cabin. I brought all the podcast stuff.
You
didn't even do it.
I know.
I wanted to
get some video footage though of us
just playing. To practice. Yeah.
Did you watch any of it?
Yes.
How was it?
Sounds pretty good.
Does it?
Yeah. Do I know what I'm doing? No.
Did it look okay though?
Yeah. Other than like the hair and the
the little what do we call it?
It's called a cattail.
Cattail, right?
Well, no, I don't think that's what it is.
No, but you called it something animal.
It looks like a raccoon.
Yeah, a raccoon.
Yeah, no, it's to block the wind, so it's needed. We just have to trim the hair or have to buy a hot shoe extender so it sits up higher. One of the two.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we did get some practice. But yeah, we didn't do a podcast, so that's okay. We'll save that for next time.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, we brought it, so that's a start.
Yeah.
So again, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back on here in the upcoming weeks.